This is the authentic text of Khechari Mudra. The name of text is Hatha Yoga Pradipika by Yogi Swatmaram, in which he describes the Khechari Mudra, ways to attain the perfection, and the results of Khechari Mudra. This is written in the chapter 3 from the verse 32 to verse 54. There are Sanskrit verses as well as English translation. I shall give the English translation as well as my experience, as I have done the Khechari Mudra with the help of my teacher. Let us read the Khechari Mudra description. So Khechari Mudra is turning the tongue backwards into the cavity of cranium and turning the eyes inward towards the eyebrow center. So here Khechari Mudra is termed as the turning your tongue back into the hole beneath the brain, beneath the pineal gland, and the Swatmaram explains that it includes turning the eyes inward. Turning the eyes inward is also termed as Shambhavi Mudra. So full Khechari Mudra means you take your tongue inwards into the whole or vacant space of cranium and your eyes turn upwards. Second, the tongue should be exercised and milked, and underneath part cut away in small degrees. Indeed, Khechari is perfected when the tongue touches the eyebrow center. So here Swatmaram gives us the particular method to attain the Khechari. He says that it should be exercised and milked. Without exercising and milking, one cannot use the Khechari Mudra. And he also explains that there is a part of tongue which is also called frenulum in modern language must be cut in small degrees so that it touches the eyebrow center. Next, with a clean thin blade, gently cut away the membrane under the tongue. Cut it by a fine hair's breadth each time. Yogi says that you need to cut the frenulum, the skin which is attaching the tongue and your jaw, slowly by slowly, and it will take some time to reach the eyebrow center. Fourth, then rub in a mixture of powdered rock salt and turmeric after 7 days. Again, cut a hair's breadth. One should continue doing this regularly for 6 months. Then the membrane at the root of the tongue will be completely severed. Verse 37, having turned the tongue back, the 3 channels of Ida, Pingala and Sushumna are controlled. This is Khechari Mudra. It is called the center of ether. The yogi who remains with the tongue going upwards for even half a second is freed from toxins, disease, death, old age, etc. One who accomplishes this Khechari Mudra is neither troubled by disease nor death, lassitude, sleep, hunger, thirst, unconsciousness. One who knows Khechari Mudra is unafflicted by disease, unaffected by laws of cause and effect, and free from the bands of time, which is death. Mind moves in Brahman, Khe, because the tongue moves in space, Khe. Therefore, the perfected ones have named this mudra Khechari, moving in space or Brahman. Verse 42. When the upper cavity of the palate is sealed by Khechari Mudra, the bindu or semen cannot be lost even if one embraces a beautiful woman. Even when there is a movement of the bindu, it enters the genitals. It is seized by closing the perineum and is taken upwards. With the tongue directed upwards, the knower of yoga drinks the fluid of moon. Within 15 days, physical death is conquered. The yogi's body is forever full of moon's nectar, even if he is bitten by the king of snake Takshak, he is not poisoned. Just as the fuel kindle fire and oil a lamp, so the indweller of the body does not vacate while the body is full of moon's nectar. By constantly swallowing of tongue, he can drink Amaravaruni. I consider him of highest lineage or heritage. Other destroy the heritage. The word go means tongue and also means cow. When it enters into the upper palate, it is the eating the flesh of cow. It or khechri destroys the great sense. When the tongue enters the cavity, indeed heat is produced and the man's nectar flows. When the tongue constantly presses the cavity, the moon's nectar flows and has a saline, pungent, acidic flavor. It is the consistency of milk, ghee, honey. Fatal diseases, old age, and weapons are warded off. From that, immortality and 8 siddhis or perfection manifest. Fluid drip into 16 petaled lotus, Vishuddhi Chakra. When the tongue is inserted into the upper throat, the Paramashakti Kundalini is released and one becomes concentrated in that experience which ensues. The yogi who drinks the pure stream of nectar is freed from disease and has longevity and has a body as soft as beautiful as a lotus stem. The nectar is secreted from the topmost part of Meru, Sushumna, the fountain head of nadis. He who has pure intellect can know the truth therein. The nectar, which is the essence of body, flows out of the moon and hence the death ensues. Therefore, Khechari Mudra should be practiced, otherwise, perfection of body cannot be attained. 5 nadis convene in this cavity and it is the source of knowledge. Khechari should be established in that void, untainted by ignorance. And the last verse, 54, there is only one seed of creation and one mudra, Khechari Mudra. One Deva, independent of everything, and one state of manonmani. Manonmani means devoid of mind. So this is the authentic description of Khechari Mudra given in Hatha Yoga Pradipika. I shall explain my personal experience regarding Khechari Mudra now on.
I practiced Khechari Mudra for some time as per my teacher taught me. So Khechari Mudra, as previously discussed, is turning your tongue into the cavity in the cranium. Okay. Now my teacher told me that you have to go through certain steps. Certain steps means in Hindi or in Sanskrit it is called Chedan, Dohan, and Melan. Chedan, Dohan, and Melan. So first step is to do the Chedan stuff. Now the Chedan is described as cutting the frenulum slowly with a certain within a certain time span. After that, your tongue becomes long enough to reach the eyebrow center. Or there is another natural method to do, that is Dohan. And Dohan is milking your tongue again and again in a certain way using certain uh, substances through which after a certain time limit your frenulum becomes elongated, strengthened, and becomes flexible so that it reaches the eyebrow center. Your tongue reaches the eyebrow center. I did this practice by myself first, and then I'm explaining my experience. Slowly, I started experiencing when my tongue started going inside. I started feeling some bitterness. That was pitta. Pitta is bitter. Pitta is Ayurvedic pitta. I am saying about Ayurvedic pitta. After some time, I started experiencing saline taste, salty taste. Probably that was the mucus. After that, the melana happened in me, which means that my tongue, after milking again and again, became long enough to reach the eyebrow center. Now, when we say eyebrow center, it does not mean the eyebrow center from outside. It means the eyebrow center from inside. Inside. Okay. When you take your tongue in, there is a hole, and the peak of that hole is called the eyebrow center. So when my tongue touched the eyebrow center, a sweet taste started coming. When I tasted that sweet stuff, it was a very tasty honey-like sweet taste for me, which started secreting, and it was a never-ending process for me. There are certain things that happened to my body after that. I did that practice for a very, very, very short period of time. Um, I started experiencing immense joy and clarity of mind and thoughtlessness again and again whenever I did the Khechari Mudra like that. And then I experienced a very strong sense of Jataragni, or the hunger inside my stomach. Slowly, my energy from the base of my spine started moving up. From the base of the spine, or you can call the Muladhara Chakra, and then once after doing it again and again, I experienced the astral projection, which means that my astral body left this physical body and came out of the place in which I was able to see the place where I was staying, and I realized that I was out of my body, but it was for a very short moment. After doing this much sadhana, this astral projection became very spontaneous for me again and again and again without any conscious effort. It happened. These are the basic things I experienced in my Khechari Mudra sadhana. There are other things I may discuss later.